Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm reviewing 13 Lives, now streaming on Amazon Prime. So 13 Lives follows the story of the 2018 cave rescue in Thailand. You may have remembered this story. It was all over the news. It was a huge global phenomenon. 12 members of a junior soccer team along with one of their coaches was trapped inside a cave in Thailand when there was a big storm that rolled in. They weren't expecting it to be there. They were exploring the cave and it's quickly filled up with water and they were trapped inside. And everyone was struggling to find a way to rescue these kids because time was ticking, there was more flooding coming, and it was just a global phenomenon trying to rescue these kind of helpless children. In this film, Viggo Mortensen plays Richard Stanton, Colin Farrell plays John Valanthan, and Joel Edgerton plays Richard Harris. So obviously you have a star-studded cast in this, and I think that they capture these individuals in a really genuine way. While I didn't follow the story particularly closely when it was actually happening, I've seen some documentaries, some interviews with the people involved, and I feel like they really capture their personalities and who they are as people, and they feel, like I said, very genuine, very lived in. You can tell that these actors are really doing their best with their source material, and this really is a testament in a lot of ways to the direction by Ron Howard, because he's always made really good looking movies, really well produced movies. Maybe not all of them have been like critically received really well, but this is a very well put together film. I would say the biggest credit to this movie is that it has some really incredible use of tension and claustrophobia. It puts you in the position of these people, in position of the children, in position of the parents, the people that are doing the rescuing. You feel that tension. You feel that emotional drain that is happening to them. In the moments where they're filming inside the caves, trying to go through these really tight, claustrophobic, dark, wet places, you feel that. You feel the tension as the audience, and I think it really captured what they're trying to do with the story. Because in many ways, you're trying to show kind of the amazing, almost impossible things that they accomplished on top of the emotional drain they went through and how everyone was involved, how all these different moving parts came together, whether it be these British divers, the local authorities, the military, the families, just everything coming together as a community to save these kids. Cinematography is also really good, getting those really tight, claustrophobic shots while also still capturing the natural look of the environment and the situation they're in. The environment itself is almost its own character. Being in this cave, it's like this unstoppable beast. They talk about it being this war with water, and you feel that in this movie. You feel the tension going back and forth between the people and their environment. It's just like you're able to capture it in a way that I think, you know, even though a documentary and the real life of it is just incredible on its own, the dramatization of it makes it that much more impressive. When I say that it mentions the families and everyone involved, I think that's something that sets it apart from kind of the general news coverage that you may have seen around this. It really focused on the divers and the people that are trying to find a way to rescue these kids, but then you don't really think about necessarily the parents and the people that are really struggling because their children are trapped there, and it shows that emotional toll. It really integrates the culture of Thailand and the people there because you're seeing them, you know, doing their rituals, they're worshiping, and how kind of that can maybe give their spirits and that opportunity to continue with the search, to keep driving when it seems like it's impossible for these children to be saved. Because the mission that they go upon and the way it's completed is just, you wouldn't think it would even be able to be done, but the way they did it and the people involved and the sacrifices that were made, I think this movie just really highlights it in a really tasteful and just entertaining way. The film also spends a good amount of time focusing on those that lost their lives. It doesn't brush over that. I feel like the news media kind of forgets about that. You learn about the children that are rescued, the divers, the British divers, and kind of like some of that, you know, tangential stuff that happened with Elon Musk that isn't even mentioned in this movie, and I'm glad they didn't go into that. So I'm glad that it really focuses on the heroes, the people on the ground, and everything they did to save these kids, because it is a monumental task. I didn't think I really understood, you know, hearing the reports and kind of seeing it, being it put on the big screen in a way that kind of puts you in that position, it puts you in that seat of how they're dealing with it. It's just so well done. The movie is almost 2.5 hours long, so it is quite a long runtime, but I didn't feel at any point that it was slow or that it was unmerited. I think it deserved that runtime. Maybe you could say it could be trimmed off a little bit, but I think the tension, the planning, the emotional drain, like I said, that went on with these characters and these actors, I think it's a phenomenal film. So if I were to rate 13 Lives, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think it is that good. I think it's one of the best movies of the year, and no one really is talking about it. No one's talking about it as an awards contender. It's really kind of being floated around. So I hope people check it out this weekend. If you were interested in this situation and you followed it through the news while it was happening, I think it's definitely something checking out. If you're someone who was really invested and you know the deep details of the story, I would love to hear your comments, because like I said, I didn't follow it when it was happening. I've seen a few, you know, bits and pieces of documentaries and interviews throughout the years, but I feel like, I don't know, it's just so well put together that I just really appreciate what Ron Howard is able to do with the material. So again, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.